Esther chapter 9. Now, in the 12th month, on the 13th day of the month of Adar, the decree written by the king arrived. On that day, those in opposition were destroyed by the Jews, for fearing them. No one resisted, for the leaders of the satraps, the sovereigns, and the royal scribes honored the Jews, and the fear of Mordecai weighed on them. For the order of the king had come down that Mordecai should be acknowledged throughout the kingdom. And in the city of Susa, the Jews killed 500 men. These included Parshandatha, Dalphon, Aspatha, Poratha, Adalia, Aridatha, Parmashta, Arisai, Aridai, and Vazijatha, the 10 sons of Haman, son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews. They ravaged them. On that day, the number of those killed in Susa was reported to the king. Then the king said to Esther, "The Jews have killed 500 men in the city of Susa. How do you think they have made out in the surrounding lands? What more do you yet desire, so that it will be done for you?" Esther said to the king, "Let the Jews be granted the opportunity to do the same tomorrow in order to hang the sons of Haman." And he permitted this to be done. And he set out for the Jews of the city the bodies of the sons of Haman to hang. Then the Jews gathered together in Susa on the 14th day of Adar and killed 300 men, but they plundered nothing. The rest of the Jews throughout the kingdom assembled and came to the aid of one another. And they had rest from their enemies, for they killed 15,000 of them on the 13th of Adar. But they plundered nothing. Then they rested on the 14th of that month and observed it as a day of rest with joy and gladness. And the Jews in the city of Susa also gathered together on the 14th, but did not rest from their enemies, but they observed the 15th with joy and gladness. This is why the Jews, scattered in every foreign land, observe the 14th of Adar with gladness as a holiday, sending parcels to their neighbors. But those living in the major cities keep the 15th of Adar as a holiday, sending parcels to their neighbors. Mordecai wrote these things in a book and sent it to all the Jews in the kingdom of Artaxerxes, to those both near and far, to establish these days as holidays, and to observe both the 14th and 15th day of Adar. For on these days the Jews had rest from their enemies. Thus Adar is the month which was turned from mourning into joy, and from grief into a holiday, to celebrate the whole time with feasting and gladness, sending parcels to friends and to the poor. The Jews accepted everything just as Mordecai wrote to them, how Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Macedonian, warred against them, how he made a decree and cast lots to exterminate them, how he had gone to the king telling him to hang Mordecai, and how all the evils he plotted against the Jews came upon himself, and how he was hanged, he and his children. Therefore, these days were called Purim, on account of the lots, because in their language they are called pure, because of the words of this letter, and because of all they had suffered on account of these things and all that had happened to them. Mordecai established it, and the Jews took it upon themselves, their descendants, and upon those joining with them, not to do otherwise. And these days are to be a memorial throughout every generation, and city, and family, and province. Thus, these days of Purim shall be observed forever, and their remembrance shall not cease in any generation. Then Queen Esther, daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew wrote down the many things they had done, and the truthfulness of the command of Purim. And Mordecai and Queen Esther established it for themselves, establishing it at that time according to their soundness of mind and their purpose. Esther established it by a command forever, and it was written for a memorial.